Tom had always dreamed of a place far away from the city's noise. A place where the air was fresh, the stars shone bright at night, and the world felt slow and kind. He wanted a quiet cabin in the woods, a home where he and his wife, Anna, could escape from their busy lives and just be together. For years, Tom and Anna worked hard, saving every penny they could. Tom worked as a mechanic, fixing cars at a small shop, while Anna worked at the city library, organizing books and helping visitors. Life wasn't easy, but they were happy. They had each other, and that was enough. Finally, after what felt like forever, they found the perfect cabin. It was small, but cozy, made of old wood with a chimney and big windows that looked out over tall trees and a quiet lake. It was everything they wanted. The cabin was part of a small neighborhood with other cabins like theirs, all close but separated by thick forest and winding dirt roads. The area was peaceful and quiet, just like Tom and Anna had imagined. But, like every neighborhood, it had rules. The Homeowners Association, or HOA, kept those rules. The HOA made sure everyone kept their cabins neat, the roads clean, and the peace alive. Tom and Anna didn't mind the rules at first. They understood the need for order. They wanted the neighborhood to be safe and beautiful. But soon, they noticed the HOA was more than just a simple group of neighbors. They were strict, sometimes too strict. The first problem came when Tom and Anna wanted to paint their front door a soft blue instead of the plain brown. The HOA sent a letter saying the door had to stay brown to keep the uniform look of the cabins. Tom and Anna were surprised, but they followed the rule. Then, when they put some flower pots outside, the HOA complained again. They said the pots blocked the walkway, even though there was plenty of space. Anna felt frustrated, but she didn't want to make waves. They lived there now, and this was their home. One evening, after a long day at work, Tom and Anna sat on the porch of their cabin. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. The birds sang their last songs before nightfall. It was peaceful, but Anna's face looked worried. "Tom," she said softly, "I don't like how the HOA controls everything. It feels like they don't trust us to take care of our own home." Tom nodded. "I know. But maybe they are just trying to keep the neighborhood nice." Anna shook her head. "There's a difference between keeping things nice and controlling every little thing." Tom looked at her, seeing the worry in her eyes. "Maybe you're right." Days passed, and life went on. Tom fixed a broken fence, and Anna planted more flowers. They tried to follow the HOA's rules, even when they didn't make sense. Then, one morning, Anna noticed something strange. The lock on their cabin door was broken. The metal was bent, and the key wouldn't turn. Her heart skipped a beat. "Tom," she called. "Come here. Something's wrong with the lock." Tom came quickly, wiping his hands on his pants. He looked at the door and frowned. "Someone tried to break in," he said quietly. Anna's hands trembled. "But why? Who would want to do that here?" Tom didn't have an answer. The neighborhood was usually quiet. No one ever caused trouble. They called the police, and an officer came to check the door. He said it looked like someone tried to force it open but didn't get inside. Tom and Anna felt uneasy. They didn't feel safe anymore. Anna sat by the door for a long time that evening, thinking about what to do next. She wanted to change the lock right away, but Tom hesitated. "What if the HOA complains?" Tom said. "They have rules about who can change locks or make changes to the cabin." Anna looked at him, surprised. "This is our home, Tom. We have the right to keep it safe. Tom nodded slowly. I know. I just don't want to start a fight. Anna stood up. If we don't do something, what if it happens again? What if someone comes back? Tom sighed but saw the determination in her eyes. Okay, we'll change the lock. But we should tell the Hoa first. Anna shook her head. No. They might try to stop us. We need to protect ourselves first. Tom looked unsure but trusted Anna's instincts. The next day, Anna went to a locksmith and got a new lock for the cabin door. She changed it herself, carefully and quickly. Tom helped, holding the door steady. When they finished, Anna tested the new lock. It was smooth and strong. She smiled for the first time in days. This feels better, she said. Tom smiled back, relieved. But they didn't know what would happen next. That afternoon, a car drove slowly past their cabin. It stopped near the gate, and a man stepped out. He wore a sharp suit and held a clipboard. It was the Hoa representative. Tom and Anna watched as he walked up their driveway, his eyes sharp and serious. The man knocked on their door. Tom opened it, confused. We have a problem, the man said. Someone told us you changed the lock without permission. That is against the Hoa rules. Anna's eyes narrowed. We changed the lock because someone tried to break in. We needed to keep our home safe. The man shook his head. Rules are rules. You need to change it back or face a fine. Tom and Anna exchanged worried glances. The man left, but the feeling of trouble had already settled over their cabin. That night, as the wind rustled through the trees, Tom and Anna sat by the fire inside their cabin. They held hands and thought about what to do. Anna looked at Tom with quiet strength. We can't let them scare us. This is our home. Tom nodded. Together, we'll figure this out. And with that, the quiet cabin in the woods became the place where their courage would be tested. The morning after the Hoa representative's visit, Tom and Anna woke with heavy thoughts on their minds. The peaceful cabin, which had always felt like a safe place, now seemed less certain. The broken lock and the Hoa's warning weighed on them. Anna sat at the small kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of tea. She stared out the window at the tall trees swaying gently in the breeze, trying to calm her restless mind. Tom joined her, rubbing the back of his neck. We can't just ignore this, Anna said softly. If the Hoa wants us to change the lock back, what happens if someone tries to break in again? I don't want to risk it. Tom sighed. I understand, but if the Hoa wants to fine us or take legal action, it could become a big problem. Anna shook her head. We have to protect ourselves first. The law is on our side when it comes to our property. Tom looked at her, feeling a mixture of pride and worry. Anna was strong and brave, she didn't back down easily. But he wondered if their fight with the Hoa was about to get much harder. Later that day, Tom decided to speak with a neighbor, an older man named Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis had lived in the neighborhood for over 20 years and knew the Hoa rules well. Tom found him tending to his garden just down the road. Mr. Lewis, Tom called, can I ask you something? The man wiped his hands on his pants and smiled. Of course, Tom. What's on your mind? Tom explained the situation about the broken lock, the Hoa's reaction, and their plan to keep the new lock. Mr. Lewis listened carefully and then nodded. The Hoa can be strict, but they don't have the right to stop you from securing your own home. Especially if someone tried to break in. That's your property, and your safety comes first. Tom felt a small wave of relief. So, if they find us, we can fight it? Mr. Lewis smiled gently. Yes. Just keep all your records, talk to the Hoa politely, and don't let them bully you. Tom thanked him and walked back home feeling a bit stronger. When he told Anna, she smiled warmly. We'll handle this together, she said. That afternoon, Anna sat down with her laptop to write a letter to the Hoa. She wanted to explain why they changed the lock and remind them that their safety was important. She wrote carefully, trying to keep the tone polite but firm. Dear Hoa board members, she began, we changed the lock on our cabin after discovering someone had tried to break in. We respect the neighborhood rules, but we believe safety should come first. We ask for your understanding and support in this matter. Anna read the letter to Tom. He nodded approvingly. It sounds good. Honest and clear. She printed the letter and walked to the mailbox, hoping the Hoa would listen. Days passed, but no reply came. Instead, Anna and Tom noticed more signs of the Hoa watching them closely. One afternoon, the Hoa representative drove by slowly again, stopping near their cabin for a moment before driving away. Tom felt a chill. They're watching us, he said. Anna squeezed his hand. Let them watch. We're not doing anything wrong. That night, they heard a soft knock on the door. Tom opened it to find two police officers standing there. Good evening, sir, one officer said. We received a call from the Hoa about the lock change at your cabin. We're here to check the situation. Tom's heart pounded. Anna stepped forward calmly and reached inside her jacket, pulling out a badge. I'm Anna, an investigator with the city police, she said quietly. The officer's eyes widened in surprise. We didn't know, one said, we're sorry if we caused any trouble. Anna smiled gently. No trouble. We just want to keep our home safe. The officers inspected the lock and agreed it was secure and properly installed. They left with apologies, promising to talk to the Hoa about the misunderstanding. Tom watched Anna with pride. She was brave and calm, and somehow, her strength made him feel safe again. The next day, Anna received a call from the Hoa board president, a woman named Mrs. Green. Anna, she said sternly, we appreciate your letter and understand your concern about safety. However, the rules are clear. Any changes to locks must be approved by the Hoa. Anna took a deep breath. Mrs. Green, I understand the rules, but no one should enter our property without permission. Changing the lock was necessary. Mrs. Green was silent for a moment. We will review your case and get back to you. Anna ended the call and turned to Tom. This isn't over, she said. But I think we're making progress. Tom nodded. We'll face it, together. Over the next week, Tom and Anna kept a close watch on their cabin. They installed a small camera by the door to record any activity and kept their neighbors informed. One evening, their neighbor Mrs. Carter knocked on the door. I just wanted to say, Anna, Tom, you're doing the right thing. I've seen the Hoa push people around before. Don't let them win. Anna smiled gratefully. Thank you, Mrs. Carter. It means a lot. Tom invited Mrs. Carter in for tea. They talked about the neighborhood, the changes, and hopes for a better future. That night, Tom and Anna sat outside on the porch. The stars twinkled above, and the air was cool but comfortable. Anna rested her head on Tom's shoulder. I never thought protecting our home would be so hard. Tom kissed her forehead. It's not just the home. It's our life here, our peace. Anna looked up at the sky, feeling a quiet hope growing inside her. We'll get through this. I know we will. Tom smiled. Together. The quiet cabin, once only a dream, was now a symbol of their strength, their love, and their fight for safety. Whatever challenges came next, Tom and Anna were ready to face them side by side. The days after the police visit passed slowly but uneasily. Tom and Anna felt the tension in the neighborhood grow, like a quiet storm waiting to break. They hoped the Hoa would accept their letter and leave them in peace. But deep down, they knew it might not be that simple. One bright morning, just as the sun began to rise, Tom was outside fixing a loose step on the porch. The air smelled fresh, filled with the scent of pine and damp earth. Suddenly, Anna came rushing out of the cabin, her face tight with worry. Tom. Someone's at the gate, she said quickly. Tom wiped his hands on his jeans and walked toward the gate. Standing there were two men in suits neither of them had seen before. They looked serious and held folders under their arms. Good morning, one of the men said politely. We're from the Hoa's legal office. May we speak with you? Tom glanced at Anna, who nodded. Sure. Please come in. The men followed them inside the small living room, their eyes scanning the modest space. Tom felt a chill run down his spine. He had expected arguments, but not a formal visit like this. We are here to discuss the lock change, the taller man began. The Hoa has received several complaints that the rules have been broken. Anna straightened. We changed the lock because someone tried to break in. Our safety comes first. Isn't that understood? The man shook his head slowly. While we understand your concern, the Hoa rules are in place to protect the entire community. No changes to doors or locks should be made without prior approval. Tom spoke up, his voice firm but calm. But the lock was broken. We didn't want to wait for permission and risk someone entering. The other man opened his folder and pulled out a document. According to the Hoa agreement you signed, any modifications must be reported in advance. Failure to do so could result in fines or legal action. Anna looked at Tom, her jaw tight but determined. We want to follow the rules, but our priority is safety. We informed the Hoa with a letter. That should count for something. The men exchanged glances. We will review the situation, said the first man. But for now, please be aware the Hoa is watching closely. After the men left, Tom and Anna sat quietly, the weight of their words hanging in the room. Anna sighed deeply. This is more serious than we thought. Tom nodded. It is. But we won't give up. Over the next few days, Anna felt the eyes of the neighborhood on them more than ever. Neighbors who once smiled now looked away quickly. The Hoa seemed to be sending a message: follow the rules exactly, or face consequences. One afternoon, Anna went for a walk along the nearby trail to clear her mind. The forest was calm, the only sounds the rustling leaves and distant bird calls. She paused by a small clearing and sat on a fallen log, breathing deeply. Her thoughts drifted back to the lock and what had happened. Changing it was the right choice, she was sure of it. But why did the Hoa have to make things so difficult? A soft voice broke her thoughts. Anna. She looked up to see Mrs. Carter, her kind neighbor, approaching with a gentle smile. I wanted to check on you, Mrs. Carter said. I know things have been tense. Anna smiled faintly. Thanks, Mrs. Carter. It means a lot. Mrs. Carter sat beside her. You're doing the right thing, Anna. This neighborhood has rules, yes, but they shouldn't make you feel unsafe in your own home. Anna nodded. It feels like a battle. Mrs. Carter looked toward the trees. Sometimes, standing up for what is right feels that way. But you're not alone. Anna felt a warmth spread inside her. Thank you. I don't know what we'd do without neighbors like you. Mrs. Carter patted her hand. We'll get through this together. That evening, Tom and Anna sat by the fireplace, the room glowing softly in the dim light. Anna looked at Tom with quiet strength. I have an idea, she said. What if I use my position to help? I work as an investigator, maybe I can find a way to explain our side better. Tom's eyes brightened. That's a great idea. You know the law and the right way to handle these things. Anna smiled. I'll start gathering information. If the Hoa won't listen, we'll find a way to make them understand. Tom reached out and took her hand. I'm proud of you. Days turned into weeks as Anna worked quietly but steadily. She met with other residents, learning their stories and frustrations. Many had felt the Hoa's heavy hand but never spoken up. One afternoon, Anna called a small meeting in their cabin's living room. A few neighbors came, curious but cautious. Anna spoke clearly. We all want a safe and beautiful neighborhood. But we can't let fear or strict rules stop us from protecting our homes. Together, we have a voice. The neighbors nodded, some exchanging hopeful glances. Tom smiled quietly. Anna was building something stronger than a lock. She was building trust and courage. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a car pulled up outside their cabin. This time, the driver was not an Hoa representative or a stranger. It was Officer Martin, a friendly face from the local police station. Hi, Anna, Tom, he said warmly. I heard about your situation and wanted to check in. Anna smiled. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your support. Officer Martin nodded. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call. We're here to help. Tom felt a wave of relief. With friends like these, maybe the fight wasn't so lonely after all. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Anna and Tom sat on their porch, the air cool and crisp. Anna rested her head on Tom's shoulder. We'll face whatever comes next, she said softly. Tom kissed her forehead. Together. The cabin, once a quiet dream, was now a place of hope and strength. No matter what challenges the Hoa brought, Tom and Anna knew they had each other, and that was the most important thing of all. The days stretched into weeks, and the tension between Tom and Anna and the Hoa grew thicker, like a heavy fog settling over their peaceful neighborhood. The cabin that once symbolized a fresh start now felt like the center of a quiet war. But Anna's spirit remained strong. She was determined to protect their home no matter what. One bright Saturday morning, Anna and Tom received an unexpected letter. The Hoa board had scheduled a special meeting to discuss the lock situation, and they wanted both of them to attend. Tom stared at the letter, his eyes wide. They want us there. Do you think this is a chance to explain everything? Anna nodded slowly. It's risky, but it's also an opportunity. We can't hide from this. The next evening, Tom and Anna dressed carefully and made their way to the small community hall where the meeting was held. The room was filled with neighbors, some friendly, some curious, and a few with cold expressions. Mrs. Green, the Hoa president, stood at the front, her arms crossed. Thank you all for coming, she began. We're here to discuss recent changes to property locks without Hoa approval. This is about rules, safety, and respect. Anna took a deep breath as Mrs. Green looked directly at her. Mrs. Anna, you changed your cabin lock without permission. How do you respond to that? Anna stood tall. I changed the lock because someone tried to break in. Our safety comes first. We notified the Hoa immediately and explained why we had to act. Murmurs spread across the room. Some neighbors nodded quietly, while others whispered among themselves. Mrs. Green's face tightened. Rules exist to protect everyone. Ignoring them puts the entire community at risk. Anna replied calmly, respecting rules is important. But when safety is at stake, the rules shouldn't prevent us from protecting our homes. I believe we can find a balance. Tom watched Anna proudly. Her voice was steady, but inside, he could feel her courage growing with every word. One neighbor, a man named Paul, stood up. I want to say something. I agree with Anna. Last year, my cabin was broken into two, and I had to change my locks immediately. The Hoa never made it difficult for me. The room grew quieter as more neighbors exchanged looks. Anna saw hope in their eyes. Mrs. Green frowned but said, we will review the case carefully. Meanwhile, we ask everyone to follow the Hoa guidelines strictly. The meeting ended with no clear resolution, but Anna and Tom felt a small victory. They had spoken their truth in front of the entire neighborhood. Back at the cabin, the atmosphere was calm but charged with energy. Tom poured 2 cups of tea, and they sat by the fireplace. What do you think will happen now? Tom asked. Anna smiled softly. I think the Hoa realizes they can't treat us unfairly. They might still push back, but the neighbors saw our side. Tom reached out and held her hand. You were amazing today. Anna looked into his eyes. We're a team. We fight together. The following days brought more subtle changes. Some neighbors approached Anna and Tom with kind words or friendly smiles. Mrs. Carter, their longtime supporter, stopped by with a plate of cookies. I'm proud of you both, she said warmly. Standing up like that takes real courage. Anna felt grateful. The neighborhood was slowly becoming a community again, not just a group of rules and restrictions. But the Hoa was not ready to give up so easily. One afternoon, as Tom was cleaning the porch, a letter arrived from the Hoa. It was a formal notice of a fine for changing the lock without approval. Tom's hands shook as he read the letter aloud. $50 for violating the lock policy. Payment is due within 2 weeks. Anna frowned. This is unfair. We didn't have a choice. Tom looked determined. We should contest this. Anna nodded. I'll speak with my department and see what we can do legally. That night, they spent hours researching property laws and Hoa regulations. Anna's experience as an investigator helped them understand their rights. We have the law on our side, Anna said confidently. We just need to be careful and clear in our responses. They wrote a letter back to the Hoa, explaining their reasons and asking for the fine to be waived. Weeks later, they received a reply. The fine was suspended pending a full review of the situation. It was a small win, but an important one. During this time, Anna continued working with neighbors, building connections, and creating a small group that wanted to make the Hoa more reasonable and fair. One evening, as they gathered in Anna and Tom's cabin, the group talked about the future. We need to remind the Hoa that we're people, not just rules, Anna said. We want a safe, friendly neighborhood where everyone's voice is heard. Tom smiled around the room filled with hopeful faces. This cabin started as a dream, but it's becoming a home for all of us. The neighbors nodded in agreement. Together, they began planning how to bring their concerns to the next Hoa meeting. Weeks passed, and the quiet cabin that had once felt under threat now buzzed with hope and strength. Anna and Tom knew the fight wasn't over. But now, they were not alone. The small community had begun to stand with them, ready to challenge unfair rules and protect their homes together. As they stood on the porch one evening, watching the sun set behind the tall trees, Anna squeezed Tom's hand. "We're stronger than any lock or rule," she said softly. Tom nodded, feeling the truth of her words deep in his heart. No matter what came next, they would face it as a team. Their home, their safety, and their peace were worth fighting for. The cabin had become more than just a place for Tom and Anna. It was now the center of a growing community, a small group of neighbors who believed in fairness and safety. The fight against the strict Hoa rules was becoming stronger every day. One crisp morning, Anna received a call that surprised her. "Hello, is this Anna?" said a calm voice on the other end. "Yes, speaking," Anna replied cautiously. "My name is Sarah. I'm a lawyer who works with communities like yours. I heard about your situation, and I think I can help." Anna's heart beat faster. "Thank you for reaching out. We've been feeling a little overwhelmed." Sarah's voice was warm. "That's understandable. HOAS can sometimes be difficult, but with the right approach, we can find a solution." Anna told Tom about the call when she got off the phone. "We might have an ally," she said excitedly. Tom smiled. "That's great news." Sarah came to visit the cabin the next day. She was friendly and professional, carrying a folder of documents and a confident smile. "I've reviewed your case," Sarah said as they sat in the cozy living room. "The Hoa has rules, but they can't ignore safety concerns. They also have to follow proper procedures before fining or threatening legal action." Anna nodded. "That's what we thought." Sarah continued, "I suggest we prepare a formal complaint to the Hoa board, explaining your rights and the importance of safety. We can also propose some changes to their policies to make them more flexible." Tom looked hopeful. "Do you think they will listen?" Sarah smiled. "It's possible. Sometimes, when people know they have support and legal advice, they become more reasonable." With Sarah's help, Anna and Tom wrote a clear, respectful letter to the Hoa board. It included examples of similar neighborhoods where safety rules were balanced with Hoa guidelines. They asked for a meeting to discuss possible changes. The neighbors who had gathered at the cabin offered to sign the letter, showing community support. A week later, the Hoa sent an invitation for a formal meeting, a chance to present their case face to face. Anna felt a mixture of nervousness and excitement. This could be the moment when everything changed. The day of the meeting arrived. Tom and Anna prepared carefully. Sarah joined them, ready to speak on their behalf. At the community hall, the room was packed. Neighbors filled the seats, many wearing small badges with the words safety and fairness. Mrs. Green and other Hoa board members sat at the front, looking serious but attentive. Sarah began by thanking the board for the opportunity. "We are here to discuss the concerns about lock changes and neighborhood safety. Our goal is to find a solution that respects both Hoa rules and residents' rights to protect their homes." She explained the importance of flexible rules that allow homeowners to act quickly when safety is at risk. Anna then shared their story: the broken lock, the attempted break-in, the feeling of fear, and the need to act. Tom spoke next, describing the community's growing concerns and the desire for fair treatment. The room grew quiet as Sarah presented examples of other communities that balanced safety with Hoa guidelines, including clear communication and approval processes. Mrs. Green raised her hand. "We appreciate your concerns. However, Rules are important to keep the neighborhood safe and uniform. Changing locks without approval could cause confusion or security risks. Sarah nodded. We understand that. But rigid rules that ignore urgent safety needs can create more problems. We propose a system where homeowners can make emergency changes but notify the HOA immediately afterward. A board member spoke up. That sounds reasonable, but how would we enforce it? Sarah smiled. Clear communication and trust between the HOA and residents. Regular updates, emergency contact numbers, and perhaps a quick online approval system. The room buzzed with conversation. Some board members looked thoughtful, while others appeared hesitant. Anna looked around at the neighbors. Many nodded quietly, hopeful that change was possible. After a long discussion, Mrs. Green finally said, "We will take your proposal seriously and discuss it at our next official board meeting. Thank you for your efforts." The meeting ended with polite applause. Outside, neighbors gathered around Anna, Tom, and Sarah, offering congratulations and words of encouragement. Mrs. Carter hugged Anna tightly. "You've done something wonderful. This is just the beginning." That night, Anna and Tom sat together on their porch, the stars shining brightly above. "It feels good to finally be heard," Anna said softly. Tom squeezed her hand. "Yes. But I think the real strength is in the neighbors standing together." Anna smiled. "We made a family here." The weeks that followed were filled with careful planning and more conversations. Anna worked with Sarah to draft new HOA guidelines that included emergency procedures and faster approval processes for safety changes. Some HOA board members resisted, but the growing support from residents made it harder to ignore the need for change. Finally, the day of the official HOA vote arrived. The community hall was packed again. Everyone waited nervously as the board read the new proposal aloud, a balanced policy allowing emergency lock changes with immediate notification, plus a process for approval afterward. The vote was close, but the proposal passed. Cheers filled the room. Anna, Tom, and the neighbors smiled, feeling the weight of their efforts lifting. As the crowd dispersed, Mrs. Green approached Anna quietly. "You fought hard and wisely," she said. "Thank you for pushing us to do better." Anna nodded. "We just want what's best for everyone." Mrs. Green smiled faintly. "Me too." That evening, back at the cabin, Anna and Tom sat by the fire, feeling tired but happy. "It wasn't easy," Tom said. "But worth every moment." Anna leaned her head on his shoulder. "We made our home safer, and our community stronger." Tom smiled. "Together, anything is possible." The cabin stood quietly outside, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight, a symbol of courage, unity, and hope. After the new HOA rules were passed, a quiet peace settled over the neighborhood. The tension that had filled the air for months seemed to melt away, replaced by a calm sense of understanding. Tom and Anna felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from their shoulders. For the first time in a long time, they could truly enjoy their cabin without worry. One bright morning, Anna stepped outside to water the plants near the porch. The sun warmed her face, and the soft hum of birdsong filled the air. Tom was chopping wood nearby, his movements steady and calm. Anna smiled at the simple happiness of the moment. "It feels good to have peace again." Tom looked up and nodded. "Yes, it does. We fought hard, but it was worth it." As the day went on, neighbors stopped by to say hello, sharing stories and laughter. The community was coming together like never before, neighbors becoming friends. One afternoon, Tom and Anna decided to host a small gathering at their cabin. It was a way to celebrate the new beginning and thank everyone who had supported them. The cabin buzzed with warmth and happiness. Children ran around the yard, neighbors chatted over hot coffee, and the smell of fresh baked bread filled the air. Mrs. Carter brought her famous apple pie, and Paul, who had supported Anna during the meetings, shared homemade jam. Anna looked around at the smiling faces. "This is what a community should be." Tom agreed. "We're stronger together." The night ended with everyone sitting around a campfire. The crackling flames reflected in their eyes as they shared stories and dreams for the future. In the weeks that followed, the new HOA guidelines were put into practice. Homeowners who needed to make emergency changes could do so quickly but were reminded to notify the HOA afterward. The balance between rules and safety created a happier, safer neighborhood. Anna often walked through the neighborhood, greeting neighbors and checking in on their well-being. She felt proud of how far they had come. One day, while walking down the trail near the woods, Anna noticed a small group of children playing by the creek. Their laughter was bright and free. She sat on a nearby rock and watched quietly. The scene reminded her why she and Tom had fought so hard to protect these simple moments of joy. Tom and Anna continued to make improvements to their cabin. They painted the front door a cheerful blue and planted wildflowers along the path. Their home was no longer just a place to live, it was a symbol of hope and resilience. One evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, Tom surprised Anna with a small gift, a wooden plaque carved with the words, "Home is where the heart is." Anna smiled, touched by the thoughtful gesture. "We built more than a cabin," Tom said softly. "We built a home." Anna leaned into him, feeling the warmth of their shared journey. But life, as always, held surprises. One late autumn day, Anna received a call from Officer Martin, the friendly local policeman who had once visited their cabin. "Anna, we've had some reports of strange noises near the community trail," he said. "Would you and Tom be willing to help keep an eye out?" Anna agreed immediately. "Of course. We want to keep the neighborhood safe." That evening, Tom and Anna took a walk near the trail. The air was cool, and the forest was quiet except for the soft crunch of leaves under their feet. As they walked, Anna felt a deep connection to the place they had fought so hard to protect. Suddenly, a shadow moved near the bushes. Tom stepped forward gently. "Hello," he called softly. A young man stepped out, looking nervous but harmless. He explained he had been lost and was trying to find his way back to the main road. Anna and Tom helped him with directions and offered to call Officer Martin. The incident reminded them that while the neighborhood was peaceful, it still needed care and kindness. Months passed, and the seasons changed. Winter covered the cabin and trees with a soft blanket of snow. Inside, Tom and Anna sat by the fire, wrapped in blankets and sipping warm tea. They talked about their journey, the fights, the fears, and the victories. Anna smiled. "It was worth every moment." Tom nodded. "We made a difference, not just for us but for everyone here." Outside, the quiet snow fell gently, covering the world in white calm. The cabin, once a place of conflict, was now a true home filled with love, hope, and peace. Anna looked out the window at the snowy landscape. She thought about all they had overcome. "Whatever comes next," she said softly, "we'll face it together." Tom smiled and took her hand. Together. The cabin stood strong against the winter winds, a symbol of resilience and the power of standing up for what is right. And for Tom and Anna, that was the greatest victory of all. Winter slowly gave way to spring. The snow melted from the trees, and fresh green buds began to peek out from the ground. The neighborhood around Tom and Anna's cabin was alive again with birdsong and the laughter of children playing outside. Tom and Anna stood on their porch, breathing in the fresh air. The journey they had been through had changed them, their home, and their community. What once was a place of tension had grown into a place of hope and friendship. Anna looked over at Tom with a soft smile. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Tom nodded, his eyes full of warmth. "It feels like a dream sometimes. But it's real. We made it real." The new HOA policies were now well known throughout the community. Residents followed the emergency procedures and appreciated the clear communication between the HOA and homeowners. More importantly, the neighbors had learned to listen to each other, to share concerns openly, and to work as a team. One afternoon, Anna and Tom hosted another gathering, this time a spring picnic by the lake near their cabins. Families came with baskets full of food, blankets spread under the trees, and children running freely. The picnic was filled with laughter, stories, and music. Neighbors who had once barely said hello now hugged and shared plans for future events. Mrs. Green, the HOA president, arrived with a basket in hand. She smiled warmly at Anna and Tom. "This is wonderful," she said. "I'm glad to see the community coming together." Anna nodded. "We all want the same thing, a safe, happy place to call home." Mrs. Green agreed. "And now we know how to make that happen." That evening, as the sun set in soft pink and orange hues, Anna and Tom walked hand in hand along the lakeside trail. The water sparkled like diamonds, reflecting the colors of the sky. Anna paused, looking out at the peaceful scene. "I never imagined our fight would lead to this." Tom squeezed her hand gently. "Sometimes, the hardest battles bring the greatest rewards." They walked quietly for a moment, the only sounds the rustling leaves and distant birds. Then Anna spoke again. "I'm proud of us. Proud of how we stood up, not just for ourselves, but for everyone." Tom smiled. "Me too. And I'm grateful we did it together." Life in the neighborhood settled into a happy rhythm. Tom and Anna's cabin felt warmer than ever, a true home filled with memories of courage, friendship, and love. One morning, Anna woke early and found a small envelope on the kitchen table. Inside was a handwritten note from the neighbors: "Thank you for showing us the way. Our community is stronger because of you." Anna felt tears prick at her eyes. She showed the note to Tom. "We made a difference," she whispered. Tom nodded. "And it's only the beginning." In the following months, Anna and Tom became trusted voices in the community. They helped organize events, supported neighbors with problems, and always listened with open hearts. Their story had inspired others to stand up for what was right, to protect their homes and each other. One day, while fixing a loose board on the porch, Tom looked up at Anna. "Do you remember when we first changed that lock?" he asked with a grin. Anna laughed softly. "How could I forget? It started everything." Tom smiled. "And now, our cabin isn't just a house. It's a symbol of hope." Anna nodded. "A reminder that standing together makes us stronger." The seasons continued to change, each bringing new joys and challenges. But through it all, Tom and Anna faced life side by side. Their bond had grown deeper, strengthened by the struggles they had overcome. And as the sun set over their cabin, bathing the trees in golden light, they knew that no matter what the future held, they would always face it together. The cabin, once just a simple building, had become a beacon of hope and unity. It stood quietly, surrounded by tall trees and blooming flowers, a home filled with love and courage. and in that home, Tom and Anna looked forward to many more years, not just as neighbors or homeowners, but as a family and a community. Their story was proof that sometimes, the greatest victories come from standing up for what you believe in, and never giving up on the place you call home.